Welcome all to the City of Middletown Planning Board May meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have to do a little housekeeping for the transcriptionist. All are present this evening. First up, I just want to make it known that anyone here this evening, first-time applicant appearances, are considered a preliminary hearing, and the planning board may or may not choose to act or vote on those applications tonight. First on the agenda, approval of April the 6th, 2022 minutes. I need a motion. Mr. Brito, a second. Ms. Witt, any discussion? Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Numcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Higbee?
Yes.
And I vote yes. First on the agenda this evening is Marco Antonio Nala Padilla, 9 King Street, eating and drinking establishment. Step up to the mic, please, sir. Just state your name for the record and then tell us your intentions. What do you plan on doing?
Yes, hi, everyone. My name is Marco Naura. The intention is to reopen the Sugar Shack factory on 9 King Street. We're planning to open 2 weeks. We have the same concept it was before, ice cream and food, like a faster food, sandwich, or like a grab and go. And some kind of drinks like shakes, smoothies, things like that.
Thank you, sir. We're going to open the public hearing. Anyone from the public present wishing to step forward and speak on this application? Ms. Tu, do we have anybody online or writing? Anyone on the telephone? And do we have the mailings? Thank you. Ms. Hanson, anyone online?
Not at this time.
Okay, we're going to go to the board now for any questions, comments, or concerns. Mr. Numcheck?
Walter, just a question. The empty space for the party for upstairs, is that handicap accessible? Is that possible, just the stairs? No. So he can't use that, or?
They can use it to get upstairs inside.
It doesn't have to be?
No.
No, okay, that was the question, sorry. What were you going to use just for parties, the second floor?
Yes, just like kids' birthdays, things like that.
Okay.
Baron, did you get a chance to go out there?
Yes, I took a look at it. Everything looks fine, that empty space. The only question I had is the one set of plans shows a deck on the back. You're not doing that, correct?
No, we're not doing that.
Okay. I have no concerns.
And there's no door that leads to that roof because the roof can't be used?
Door that leads to that roof, it's locked, it's not labeled as an exit.
Does it need to be an exit?
No.
But the roof is not for occupancy, can't be used.
Occupancy, it's not for egress.
Walter, any concerns?
Excuse me?
Any concerns?
Ms. Houston, did you have a question?
I just was going to ask the same thing Mr. Namchuk had about the upstairs, but I thought of one as I was going to close the microphone. Would you be serving any alcohol?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I just wanted to ask. And then one other question. I see you have 3 employees and your hours of operation are Monday through Sunday through Monday, 8 to 6. I see you have Tuesday closed, but if you change your mind, you would have to come back to the planning board to change that. If you wanted us to make it daily, that would be something we could accommodate.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Maybe there'll be some changes in the hours operation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my understanding that with them be the hours of operation will be daily, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct.
Yes, Mr. Brito?
Are you selling breakfast food there?
For now, no, but maybe in the future we'll be planning to do breakfast on Sundays.
There's ice cream in the morning. I mean, I'm for it, but I just didn't know if there was, that was the thing.
All right, you're planning on having a little bit of a kitchen there, right?
Yes, like it was kitchen before there. When I bought the building, they have all electric equipment there.
So you have to submit your plans to the Board of Health as well.
Yes, with
Yes, Darren?
He has on this one plan, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 8 PM. So you said daily.
He said daily, we could make it daily, 8 AM to 8 PM, if you prefer.
I wanna lock you out.
I'm good with that, thank you.
Is the board okay with that, 8 AM to 8 PM? Okay, we can
That
adjust.
kitchen that's in there is previously approved, fully commercial, all set, ready to go.
Okay.
The Board of Health does require, though, him to submit the plans.
Are you the owner of the property, sir?
yes, I am, sir.
The answer would be yes. Okay. Ms. Witt?
What will be your company name? What name are you going to use?
Sugar Shack,
Oh, you're going to use the same
it's the
name?
same name,
Oh, cool, okay.
same logo.
It is in the DMU,
Yes.
so waive parking
Architectural Review Board,
and the waste.
waste collection have to be in the, everything. Yeah, when I read it off, I'll include it all in the resolution. I'll go back to the public hearing. Anyone present wishing to step forward and speak on this application? Ms. Hanson, anyone online?
Not at this time.
I'll close the public hearing. Go to the board one more time for any questions, comments, or concerns. Okay, that being said, on the application for 9 King Street, an eating and drinking establishment located within the DMU zone, the applicant will need to go to the Architectural Review Board for any facade work or signage work. The hours of operation will be daily, 8 AM to 8 PM. We're going to waive parking. There will be no access to the roof. The roof will not be used as a part of your business. And it'll be, at the moment, there's no alcohol being served. And it'll be subject to the City of Middletown DPW and the City of Middletown Fire Department inspections, approvals, and when necessary, the approval of the Commissioner of Public Works. The applicant will obtain all necessary permits, follow the permitting process, codes, and ordinances of the City of Middletown, the State of New York, and where applicable, the County of Orange. In addition, if throughout any of the review process, the project is deemed to require bulk requirement tables, the applicant will supply said tables through an architect or engineer licensed in the State of New York. Whereas this application is located in the DMU zone, applicants must submit and receive approval from the Department of Public Works according to Chapter 407 Solid Waste, Article 2 Collection, Section 407-3, Collection, and comply with this section and any other sections enacted by the Common Council from this date forward. Whereas pursuant to the City of Middletown Code, Chapter 475, Article 4, Administration and Enforcement, Section 475-53, Paragraph E, Subparagraph 6, unless work is commenced and diligently prosecuted within 6 months and completed within a 2-year period of the date of the granting of special use permit, such special use permit shall be null and void. Basically, if you don't begin work within the next 6 months, you need to send us a letter extending your approval. Okay?
Waive parking.
I didn't say that? Okay, waive parking. I'll include it. All right, I need a motion. Ms. Houston, second. Mr. Higbee. Discussion? Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Numcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Higbee?
Yes.
And I vote yes. See the DPW for all your proper permits, please. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
I gotta put this back right or else I get yelled at. Next on the agenda this evening is a preliminary hearing, not for any action, but for future presentation and possible action at a date not yet determined. First up this evening would be Southgate 1 LLC, 14 to 24 Ulick Road, 10 residential units.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. My name is Gene Grillo. I represent the petitioner. I am here this evening with Nikki Laludis, who is representing the project engineer, and Wayne Zuckerman, excuse me, Wayne, I forgot your name for a second. Wayne Zuckerman, one of the principals of the project. I want to give you a little bit of the history, and then I'll let Ms. Laludis explain the details regarding the project that's being, project approval that's being applied for. Back in 2015, this board approved the applicant for a project on Ulick Road, consisting of approximately 73 acres. They were given the permission to build 309 units. The project was to be built into two phases. That project has been completed in full. The entire 309 units has been completed. In 2018, an application was made to this board for subdivision approval, and that 73 acres was divided into two separate parcels. One parcel consisting of about 40 acres and the other parcel consisting of about 33. Tonight's application is for the purposes of being able to construct an additional building on one of those parcels. And that's basically the history that brings us to today. Everything in the past has been fully completed and complied with. This is brand new, and I'll allow Nikki to present the project details.
Well, I brought the wrong board for this, the wrong easel. Is there any way I can just leave this here for you all, or is it too low?
That'll work.
Let me hold it for a minute.
Here we go. Sure.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah, we had one in the other room, so
To the rescue.
thank you, Eileen.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, board professionals. As Mr. Grillo just stated, my name is Nikki Laludis. I'm with Bowman Consulting, located at 54 Horse Hill Road in Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Our firm was the original engineer back in 2015, representing the original project. We were known as Omland Engineering Associates at the time. Our firm has since been bought out by Bowman. Same engineer of record on the previous project as now. The application before you this evening is for amended site plan approval for a proposed 10-unit residential townhome building to be constructed at the existing South Gate at Middletown site. Here is the overall plan. I'm just referring to sheet 3. Refer back to my notes so I don't misspeak. The existing site is a little over 73 acres in size, and it's just west of the Sterling Park development and accessed by Schindler Court. Where we're proposing the new building is immediately adjacent to the eastern property line as you come in off Schindler Road. The area is currently paved, and it has, it's striped for parking, approximately 24 vehicles. But this parking area was not included in the original counts for the originally approved site plan. The original site plan consisted of 21 separate buildings 9 of them along the southern portion of the site, another 12 along the northern portion. They're connected by Meadows Road. There is also an existing clubhouse for the residents on the northern portion. And as far as the parking counts go, there are 309 units. 597 spaces were required at the time. That was based on a unit mix of 84 one-bedrooms and 225 two-bedroom units. What we provided back in 2015 was a total of 607 spaces. Those 10 extra spaces were provided next to the clubhouse for additional parking for residents. With this new proposal, what we're proposing is 6 two-bedrooms and 4 one-bedroom units, total of 10. Based on the ordinance, 19 spaces are required. The unit, the building itself, the 10 units, has 8 garage spaces. Each garage space has a driveway associated with it. They're tandem spaces. So the building and driveway provide 16 of the required 19 spaces. We're also proposing 4 spaces, surface parking, just to the right. I'll just go into a zoomed-in site plan here. So these would be the 8 garages. 2 of the units are accessed on the sides. We have a 4 parking space lot to the right. And then, again, this is the entrance off of Schindler Road to our block and lot. For the parking lot, we're going to be adding curb, granite block curb and flush curb in the rear of the parking area to allow drainage to sheet flow off into what is the wetlands. We have a federally regulated wetland, which we're not disturbing. We're not doing any work there. There's no buffer there for us to, be cognizant of. The rest of the drainage is basically going to come to a catch basin, a new catch basin in the road here. I'm kind of going back and forth, but right now there is an existing pipe, an existing drainage pipe connecting this little wetland area. It's an isolated wetland to the back area, the back wetlands. We're going to need to relocate that pipe to get it out of the way of the building, and that's where we're going to tie in our new inlet for the drainage coming along the curb. As part of grading, we're going to need to raise the back of the site by about 1 foot. The grading is all within or outside of the wetlands. We're raising it about 1 foot just to meet elevation. We're going to also need to build a small 2-foot max landscape wall along the left side of the building in order to keep the side entrances accessible. The back of the site, when we do the grading, there is kind of a walking path back there. It's not clearly defined, but we're also looking to relocate that. It's just going to be moved up slightly, but it will still be there and available. With the stormwater, not to get into too much detail, we did have a meeting on Monday with your engineer, and there are some things that we want to work out. We did provide a report, basically the increase in the impervious area, which is not much, and I'll give you the numbers in a minute. That's not going to cause any runoff or peak runoff increase, so there's no impact, in our opinion, to the stormwater system that's in place, and no need for any sort of upgrades. As far as sanitary goes, as you are probably aware, the entire site is gravity fed to a pump station, and that pump station takes the flow off site. We did some preliminary numbers just to make sure that the capacity of the pump station is still okay. We're looking at an increase basically of 5 gallons per minute, or 1,700 gallons per day. So we believe that the pump station will work as intended. We just have to finalize some numbers and make sure we don't have to make any adjustments to the pumps. In terms of water, as you might know, we have a looped system that was part of the developer's agreement for the site. We're proposing a 6-inch ductile iron service to the building. My understanding is that the building will be fully sprinklered, just as the other buildings on site are, and therefore an RPZ will be required and we'll install one as necessary. We're also proposing gas and electric. We have not yet reached out to the agencies for coordination on that pending, these preliminary meetings. We also are looking at traffic and SECRA. We understand that, since traffic will be dealt with internally, that there won't be any need to, revisit the original traffic report. We can provide a memo as to any increase in trips, but those increase in trips, we believe, will be minimal. And as far as SECRA, need to get the documents, Mr. Cochran. We know that there was a negative declaration on the original project. We don't believe that this will have any sort of additional need for reopening that file, but we can provide any additional information needed to update or amend the forms if need be.
Our engineer will make a couple comments when you get done.
Sure.
He's done some research.
Okay. I guess I just wanted to mention that as per zoning requirements, we're in the C3 zone. We're meeting all the bulk criteria. We are looking at a waiver for not having commercial use on the ground floor, which is a waiver that was granted with the original approvals. That is the only variance that is required for this proposed project. That's really all I have this evening, unless you have questions.
You had said the lot was subdivided. On which lot is this being built, the 40 acre or the 33?
It's being built on the 33-acre parcel?
And on the 33 acre parcel, is there any other buildings?
I'm not quite sure what the total number of buildings are on the smaller parcel. I do have a map of the subdivision.
It would be on the 33-acre lot, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be right in here, in this area. I don't know if it's possible to see. This is the subdivision map. It was built on the lower parcel in essentially this area right here. And these are the buildings that have been completed on the project. This is the dividing line between phase 1 and phase 2.
So how many are on the 33 acre?
How many buildings on the 33 acre?
There are nine building on that southern lot.
Thank you. And how many buildings in total are there?
21 residential and 1 clubhouse.
Thank you.
I know we had our meeting Monday. Did you look into possibly adding any additional parking spaces?
We believe we can add 1 more. We haven't actually drawn it up.
Okay.
But at this point, without really getting into the wetlands area, I think 1 is the most we're going to get.
Okay. We're just trying to cover as many as possible because you're going to have 2 units on the very end.
Right.
And someone on the left-hand side of your plan is going to be without a parking spot. They're going to have to walk to the other lot.
Right.
So, yeah, anything you could add would be greatly appreciated.
Do you know the approximate distance to the next parking lot from these units?
It's about 300 feet.
Thank you.
Before we move on to the board questions, our engineer would like to just briefly give his review.
Okay, so a lot of this was already covered in Nikki's presentation. As she mentioned, I'm just looking for something that, for the pump station, that will verify that the existing pump station works. It looks like there's plenty of capacity. I just need that stamp for the board's sake, that it's working. RPZ we talked about. The stormwater, I was able to find the old report. This isn't a big drainage area that in the original design more than compensated for what little bit's being added here. But again, I'm just looking for something from Bowman to say that, yes, we've looked at it and it's correct. I'm not worried too much about that. Just include some mapping that gives me that. The parking, as much parking as you possibly can get would be great. And then just go through seeker. You did the original application did part 1, 2, and 3 with a few additional studies. I looked at the traffic, the 10 more, I shouldn't be probably shouldn't be designing it for them, but the 10 more units will basically generate about 5 more trips a day in the morning and 7 at night. So we're not talking, it's de minimis for the area. It's not, traffic shouldn't be a problem, and a lot of it's handled internally. Like I said, the stormwater was part of that. The wetlands, were federal wetlands, they're not touching them. So that's pretty much the extra studies that were done there. But if you could just go through that, and even just a memo updating seeker, so that we can put that in the file, so there's no way to challenge it. And that was the extent
We're
of
still
my
looking
comment.
for the files. If it's possible to get the secret files, a copy from you, that would be great. Or if I can
I
open
can
them.
scan it. If you give me your email, I can scan what
Will
I
do.
did. Because I have the resolution and I went and copied it myself. All right, thank you. That's really all I've got. Okay.
So we're going to need an updated EAF, or no?
Yeah, I would think that just update it, or even if they go through the existing one and just comment on what sections change.
Okay.
Like I said, the traffic count, the parking, the units, the stormwater, there's sections. I highlighted
Okay.
the sections, and now that I say that, I highlighted the sections on my copy, so maybe
then
you can
I
grab a
think-
copy and scan it.
I think we may have to update our lead agency and our neg deck.
Yes, I would think that you would have to
Ready
go
for
through
that?
seeker.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, anyone from the board has any questions? Mr. Numcheck?
Yeah, the building you said is 6 two-bedroom and 4 one-bedroom,
Correct.
right? Is that the same as the other buildings? And
Yes.
it's the same thing?
There are 2 configurations on the site. There are 19-unit buildings and there are 10-unit buildings. So this will be the equivalent of one of those 10-unit buildings.
same one?
Same unit mix.
Okay, and you said 8 of them have garages, so 2 of them will not.
Correct.
Right.
The existing product now, the 10-unit buildings only have 8 garages. The 19-unit buildings have 14 garages. So that's how they were originally designed.
I'm just going where the two that do not have parking space, are they going to have reserved spots for themselves?
We're providing 19 spaces for that entire block, so they theoretically have spaces on the side, which then goes to the chairman's question and
So they're all open
as
spaces,
to put
they're not
their
reserved?
surface parking.
Yeah,
They're not reserved, no.
Well, we can request that whatever you need for those 2 side buildings or apartments, have them signed so that those residents make sure they get their parking spots. And the overflow would just be
Yeah.
visitors or whatever.
Because if it's
Would you be opposed to that? Signing them? No, not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, because I know in condo living, parking is like the number one issue. Because you're not counting the garages as parking, just the driveways, correct?
I'm counting the garages as well.
You are.
Yes.
Because
They
it's
do.
a one-car garage, and it's more than ample to have parking in the front. It's like almost
Yeah.
2 spaces in the front.
But not the,
Right.
I'm talking about the garage itself is counted as a parking spot?
Correct.
It is.
Yeah.
As it was also in the original.
It was?
Yeah,
Because most of the people use their garages as storage units.
I do the same.
I know, I live in a condo complex, I know.
I do the same.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was here for the original Sterling Park application. I don't recall what the security was, but how has security been addressed as far as cameras, extra lighting, anything like that? And what are the plans for this expansion?
I'll have to defer to Mr. Zuckerman. I don't know how we address that.
Good question.
Good evening, Wayne Zuckerman, Sterling Properties. We have no issues, we've had no issues at Southgate until itself, or Sterling Park, matter of fact, we're also operators there in terms of cameras. We do have cameras in our club room, but as far as exterior, we've had no issues with security.
Is there any lighting? What are the parking lighting? What is the parking lighting situation?
Overall, or for the 10 units?
Well, I want to make sure it's well lit for, especially like seniors going in at night.
Well, right now, the existing in front of this parking lot is a light stanchion unto itself. And usually along the building side, we'll provide access lighting for the walkways on the building.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
There is one light pole there currently that we're looking to relocate just to get it out of the way of the driveway, and we are adding another light pole. So there'll be two at the front of the building.
Mr. Madden?
Did the original agreement include plans for reserved green space in this project?
Don't know.
John, did you see anything?
Going over the seeker, I did not spot something that specifically reserved space, but most of the site is wetlands that hasn't been built up, so there is a lot of area that's just unbuildable in general. So I don't think that's probably an issue. But again, I don't recall reading anything about that in the seeker documents.
Because right now, presently, this lot is a paved parking lot right now.
Where? The lot where the building's going to be constructed is a paved parking lot? Okay.
I would assume by the clubhouse you have greenery or whatever, right? Grass.
Yes, there's some landscaping there. Mhm.
Okay. Anyone else? Board? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Work on the comments, and when you're ready, give us a call. Even if we need another prelim, we'll meet with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we would like to schedule the public hearing as soon as possible. Is there anything that you require for that purpose, other than whatever it is that you might require?
Just the completion and satisfy the comments of our engineer and the
Okay.
board, that's why tonight took place.
Very good,
Any comments that we've had, we'd like them resolved.
very good.
Well, that's the least of their problems. All right, next up, preliminary hearing. Denali Realty Ventures LLC, 328 Highland Avenue Extension, proposed commercial strip mall.
Good evening.
Just state your name for the record, please, sir.
My name is Brian Connor. I'm here representing Denali Realty Ventures, as well as my other partners on this project. Just to give you a little background information, we're not the owners of this property. We're in contract to purchase it. We're currently representing the owner. The drawings that you have in front of you is a set of plans that was approved back in 2005. The current owner kept the approvals on this set of drawings until 2012, when they lapsed. And we're basically here tonight to see if the board would be willing to reapprove these drawings, basically as they were approved back in 2005.
But I think the one question that has arisen is that it originally was a strip mall.
Yes.
And I believe your application has requested or called it an office building.
It's the other way around, isn't it?
Is it the other way around?
Yes.
Yeah, it was an office building, now you're saying strip mall.
Yes. Other than it is zoned as heavy industrial. So other than the designation of office space, we would like to build the same building under the pretext that the spaces would be more of a retail nature to fit the area, such as, nail salon, pizza parlor, insurance agent. There's a lot of residential surrounding that property, despite the fact that it is zoned industrial. And given the current climate for office space, we think that would be a better fit, but we'd be willing to hear suggestions.
Is an office building permitted in an I-2 zone?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Yes.
If it was approved before, I'm assuming it would be, right? If it was an I2 zone, because now he just wants the same building that was here, right?
Right.
If it was approved before in that same
Okay, so
zone.
my question is, because when I read this application, it says site plan approval, previously approved strip mall. That's what his application says. So what was the previous approval for? A strip mall or an office building?
As far as I'm aware, the plans do say office space, but I guess I would have to, I'd have to follow up on that question. It seems a little strange that it would be
Says office
approved
building,
as, five tenant office space, but
According to your past resolution, it says office building. So that's what it is right now. That's what you're approved for, an office building.
okay.
So do you want to do an office building, or do you want to do a strip mall?
We would prefer to do a strip mall.
Okay. That's where I got confused, because it says previously approved as a strip mall in the application. That's where I got confused. All right, sorry.
According to the January 22nd, 2007 approval, it was also subject to conditions of the letter of Mr. Schumard and subject to the short form EAF to be submitted.
I was unaware of that.
So then I would ask, the strip mall being retail establishments, my assumption, and then are retail establishments allowed in the I-2 zone? That's my new question.
I have the I-2.
You have the I-2? Okay, just a moment.
Offices are clearly here: accountant, architect, bond, loan, engineer, surveys. Health club. No.
Okay. Answers that question. No retail stores allowed in an I-2 zone.
Okay, so if we wanted to pursue that, we would have to apply for a variance.
No.
That wouldn't work. You need a zoning change.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. or a
And that
variance.
would be before the common council, not
Right.
before us.
okay. I think our biggest concern right now is, we're in contract to purchase the property. These plans were approved. If we could move forward with something similar to this without having to rehash a lot of it, we would be willing to move forward with it. But if this, isn't something that we could convert to a retail space without, significant effort on our part, we would be willing to, or we'd be open to suggestions from the board as to what you guys would like to see done there. I mean, it's a vacant lot. We are willing to develop it in order to enhance the area. We're currently invested in the area in Middletown, and anything we can do to kind of, support the community and the micro areas throughout the community, we would like to do that.
Well, we don't normally make suggestions to developers. What we can do is you can obtain the I-2 zone
Yes.
and you can read through it to see what is allowed.
Yeah, we have read through the I-2.
Okay.
So, being that this is a preliminary hearing, I guess we just kind of wanted to see, exactly where we stand with what we have right now. We have explored other possibilities. Although it is an industrial zone, it is surrounded by residential. We thought potentially maybe,
History of our town. That's the way it works.
Yes.
Industry right next to residential.
Exactly. So I think one of the other proposals that we had floated was, perhaps 2 duplexes or a row housing, 2 to 4 units, depending on, what kind of density was allowed on the site.
I'm not sure if that's allowed either.
You would have to go through the I-2 zone, make sure you meet the requirements of the I-2 as far as whatever use you would want, but it has to comply with the zoning. That's not before the board. That's up to the applicant to do that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the appropriate time to
Oh, sure.
ask. Okay.
Go ahead.
So for this particular property, I noticed that it is very close to the border of the town of Wallkill. What is their zone for that property across the street?
I would have to look into that.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I would just recommend, just keep
It's
that
all,
in your.
it's all residential across the street
All
from it.
residential, okay.
Yeah.
That whole
Behind
section.
it is
Unique.
industrial,
Very
but,
unique.
but pretty much that entire road. And then something else to consider is the getting in and out of there, I think. Excuse me, getting in and out of their office building, strip mall or whatever. I mean, it's very hard to get out of industrial place now. I'm very familiar with it. We used to rent the parking lot, and it's visibility is tough and just a lot of traffic. And so I don't know if you get into traffic studies and that type of thing. If you're going to have 5, if you are going to go through the effort and change it to a strip mall or something, I would think that we would possibly want traffic studies and that type of thing, because it's not an easy road to get in and out of.
Yes, but, you are correct. And given that it, across the street is residential, and it is also bordered by residential on both sides.
Yeah.
So it would seem that would probably be a better fit. I guess just the fact that it had already had these approvals, we wanted to see where we stood with that.
Yeah, it's a really unique area and property. Another thing to consider is how has the property changed, or the surrounding properties changed over the course of time since your original approval? I would, just suggest that you keep that in mind with whatever you decide to do. What I said wasn't meant to discourage you, but just to bring your attention to it. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
And whatever you do, the town of Wallkill will be notified because they're within a certain distance, and we have to notify them of what you're doing also.
Yes.
And it would also be subject to the engineer's review and comments.
Anyone else? So I'm not sure if we helped you or hurt you, but hopefully we gave you some guidance.
Yes, no, I appreciate it.
Okay.
And it sounds like
Definitely.
even if you wanted to go forward with this exact thing, it sounds like some of the things were not followed up on, like the seekers and the,
Absolutely,
that's something to think about.
absolutely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yep, good luck. Nothing else coming before the board this evening? Call for adjournment. Motion, Mr. Numcheck, second. Ms. Whip? Sir?
Yes, I would like to say a little something here.
Is this in reference to anything
Yes.
on our agenda, sir?
No, it is not, but I think the board should be informed of what's going on up on Orange Terrace. We have a builder that wants to build 6 homes on 2 44-foot lots and 4 50-foot lots. Somebody's got
Listen, sir,
to,
our board doesn't handle that, so that's a common council. We are not the common council, we're the planning board. We have no say in that issue.
well, it's unfortunate, you know?
You can go to the common council, though. They have a public session that you can express your concerns.
And you can also submit a letter if you'd like, sir.
Very well, thank you.
Let's see, we had a motion to adjourn, Mr. Numcheck, second by
Ms. Whip.
Ms. Whip. Discussion? Roll call. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Numcheck? That's a yes. Mr. Brito? Ms. Whip?
Yes.
Ms. Houston? Mr.